Welcome to Living the Dream, the show for dance teachers and studio owners. We live for the breakthroughs, the laughter, the messy moments, and the magic. Because the dream is not always perfect, it's real. Let's talk dance, studio life, and the journey. Here we go. Miss June, we're live, my friend.
Ooh, amazing, Rhee.
I'm glad you think it's amazing. I want to say hello to Judy. Look who's here already before we even, can you see Judy's comment?
She's early.
Yeah, she's early. Okay, good morning and welcome to Living the Dream. We're so glad you're here with us today. This is a show that's about conversations for dance studio owners, dance teachers, and people who care deeply about dance education. And remember, Living the Dream is also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Subscribe. Never miss an episode.
Good morning, everyone. If you're watching us, please let us know where you are joining us from, because we love seeing this community show up all over the country and the world. Today's conversation is coming at the perfect time of year. Studio owners are finishing one season, planning the next one, marketing summer programs, and already thinking about fall registrations.
So today we're welcoming Bryce and Kristian from Dance Motion Marketing. They work with dance studios, understand the real world pressures studio owners are feeling. We're going to talk about summer marketing, fall enrollment, messaging, attracting families, and how studios can get out ahead of a crowded market. How cool is that?
Very cool, because this is going to be a practical but also encouraging seminar, because marketing is not just about getting people to click a button. It's about helping our families understand who we are, what we believe in, and why our studio might be the right place for their child.
Ooh, Miss June, we made it through the intro, my friend. Talk to me now. Tell everybody a little about your school.
Okay, I'm in Mississauga, Ontario, and that is in Canada. And we are ending up our 41st year in business. So we're right in the thick of exactly what today's seminar is, thinking about next year, wrapping up this year. We just came off a 4-day competition weekend. The team that went to comp was absolutely amazing, but the team that stayed home was equally amazing, because it takes a full team to put that on and to carry it forward, to make sure everyone is having a successful time. So we're just jumping right into everything that we're going to talk about today.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in and talk to you about something before we get into the whole marketing thing. You just did a 4-day dance competition. Yes. Is it your final dance competition of the season, or you have more to go?
We have one more to go after our recital.
After your recital. How do you feel after a 4-day dance competition?
Tired, mentally tired, because it's a lot of sound, loudness from 8 o'clock in the morning till sometimes 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. But I mean, I set the mindset going into it that it's going to be long, but the energy that's coming off of my team that's there, the families and the kids, is outstanding. So I'm pretty proud to announce that we won the Studio Spirit Award this last one. And what makes it so special is it's voted on by your peers. So the other studios, there were 20 studios at this event, and they chose ours to receive that lovely Studio Spirit Award, which means everything to us.
Wow, I love that about you, Miss June. Tell everybody about some expansion that is going on in your studio life.
That's right. After 40 years, we're taking the unit next door. And so the construction on that will happen in the next 6 weeks. And we're very thankful to our community for showing how much they value us by showing up for classes and the demand for our services. So we're really looking forward to sharing that. It should be opening and ready for business this summer. So we're excited.
Okay, I want to hear a personal side response to this. Where do you get the energy and the passion after 41 years to expand?
Where do I get the energy and the passion? I'm excited about what I do every single day. I love what I do. And always looking forward. I like to visualize what my life is going to look like. And when I visualize it, what would be ideal for me, then I visualize and then I take steps forward towards it. And having my team in place, having great people, great families, that all helps. Just keep one foot in front of the other and not just staying in the one spot. So, not going over what perhaps is not working, rather always thinking about solutions. If this is not right, how can we change this? How can we move forward?
Ooh, I love that, Miss June. Sometimes I think you're the happiest studio owner I know, my friend. So I want to say hello to Angela Floyd from Tennessee. Good to see you. And also here is our friend Erin. Erin's from Massachusetts. Good to see you, Erin. So I want to get myself ready here with something. Before we bring out our guests, we're going to talk marketing today. Before we bring out our guests, we want to thank our sponsor, Jackrabbit Dance. Jackrabbit helps studio owners manage registration, tuition, communication, scheduling, and much more. When you use their systems, you end up being a studio owner who has more independence because they take care of so much for you.
We are grateful to Jackrabbit Dance for supporting Living the Dream and for supporting studio owners around the world.
We'll be back after this.
This episode is sponsored by Jackrabbit Dance, the dance studio software empowering you to build the studio of your dreams. With over 20 years of experience, Jackrabbit has the solutions and industry insights to help your business grow. Want to increase student enrollment, optimize your pricing to be profitable, or improve staff retention? See how other studios are using Jackrabbit Dance to hit their goals year after year. To learn more, visit jackrabbitdance.com/benchmarks.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Rhee.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy to have you with us today. So, this is Kristian and Bryce, and I said dance motion marketing, but that's not right. It's in motion marketing, or is it dance motion marketing? What is it, you guys? Let's start with that.
Well, our business is and has always been dance motion marketing. We're more commonly known as DMM in the industry. That was because I think dance motion marketing is a mouthful, which we acknowledge and take full responsibility for. So either DMM or dance motion marketing works just fine.
All right. I'll go between both of them. Welcome to Living the Dream.
Thanks for having us.
Can I ask, when you first started working with dance studios, what surprised you the most about the profession?
Good question.
The hours, the working hours, and how little break, like weekends. Like you just, were sharing about how you're gone 4 weekends in a row for competition. I don't know if these are traveling ones, but it is a lot of travel. And also too, I think the passion to the craft just really shines out above many others. Like there's so many people you talk to that have a career and they're like, I don't like my career path. But no matter what's happening in a dancing owner's world, like they love dance. And that's just like, you feel it. You feel it. It just, that is something that I haven't encountered before. And I think it's just the intersection of art and business. And I think we'll talk about the trade-offs later today in this episode when it comes to marketing. But that's what really stood out to me most of all. It was just felt very vividly in every dancing owner I talked to.
Cool. And was there something that you thought you understood about studio ownership, but then you realized it was much deeper once you got into the work?
I think we can say that and we've been very clear about this, that we did not understand anything about studio ownership when we got into the business. We are marketers first and foremost. We were video creators, content creators. That's why motion is in the name. That's where that first M comes from. We were video producers, and so we knew marketing and messaging and story incredibly well. We knew how to take passion and turn it into something that moves others, but we didn't know anything about the dance world. We're not dancers ourselves. We didn't come up in that space. And so for us, it's been over the last 5 years, an education in and of itself, understanding what makes studios work, what makes them not work, what are the shortcomings in the mindsets that studio owners oftentimes present with that hold their growth back. So it's been educational. So I don't think we came into this with any preconceived notions about what makes it go. We very much started from the beginning, which has been helpful for us and for our clients, because we didn't have any, this is how it's always been. We didn't have that. We evaluated everything on its merits rather than based on this is how it's always been done.
So you guys, the public sees the recital, the cute kids, the costumes, the performances. But we know studio ownership is a serious business with a lot more behind it. What have you learned about studio owners since launching motion marketing or dance motion marketing?
Well, I can take a swing while you're noodling. So the thing that surprised me the most about the studio owners is that they are some of the hardest working, most passionate people I've ever seen in any industry. The nights, the weekends, like Kristian already alluded to, the just almost absurd amount of passion that they have for their program and the studio and the recital. Like, this really matters to studio owners. Like, it really does. They care about it. But the thing that I learned is that nobody starts a dance business because they like business. They start a dance business because they like it. And so for many studio owners, not all, we've got some incredibly savvy operators, but for many studio owners, there's a gap between what they're passionate about and the business acumen that you need to really turn a studio from a very expensive hobby into a profitable and lucrative business. And that's kind of part one on that. The second part, and I may be giving you more than you want. We can pull on the threads.
Give me whatever you want to give me, my friend. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I think the first part is just that gap, but the second part is actually a mindset thing, where there's a lot of people outside the industry that see dance exclusively as a hobby, right? They're like, well, what's your real job? Instead of understanding that dance is a career. Studio ownership is entrepreneurship. And unfortunately, I think that affects a lot of studio owners as well. They see it that way too.
I would like to jump on there to say, I think in the last 5 years, that mindset has started to shift, where even being in business 40 years ago, I was the person that started the studio because I loved working with kids and I loved dance. It was only in the latter years, it's like, oh yeah, this is a business. And I think we're starting to recognize that and stand up and grow as business people, which it's going in the right direction. What do you guys think that studio owners do not give themselves enough credit for when it comes to marketing and running their businesses?
These are really good questions.
Yeah, these are getting us to stop and think really critically.
Welcome to living the dream, guys.
You could have sent these over in advance.
I don't know if this is giving themselves enough credit for, but I'm gonna maybe the direction that I'm gonna take this is like I don't think they give enough credit to their youth recreational programs. You know, especially this is also like a two-part. It's also one part marketing, one part mindset piece. A lot of people come in and they're like, hey, our competition team, like we don't have enough kids in our 8 to 12 range, our 13 to 15, and like these more company and higher level programs are starting to dwindle a little bit, and that creates like a panic. And like we got to go market. We got to market our auditions. We got to market this. We got to market but it's all about the high skill. They want to fill that program. But I'm like, well, what about the young kids? What about them? We need to that's what feeds the business. And whenever I challenge that idea, I ask them, I'm like, okay, let's think about this team that you're trying to grow. How old are they? They're like in their early teens. I ask them, when did they start their dance journeys? And they usually say like they were 3 or 4. Okay, well that's where we got to go start. And so I think they don't give themselves enough credit that is a valuable and enriching program for early childhood development. And it will eventually grow and graduate into this other program. But it's just so important. And I wish that they would give more credit to like how they're impacting kids. And I'll tell you, I've heard my fair share of the challenges of running mommy and me classes and these preschool kids. Like it's maybe not as fun as developing technique and doing choreography, but it is foundationally so important to the kids, their dance journeys, and just the business health overall too.
It's like we need to not only build the foundations in our students from a young age so that they have the qualities and the skills that we want, but also for our business. If that base is not strong, we've got nowhere to pull from to get to
exactly
competition levels. Yes. So true.
Yeah, you have to build your business from front to back, meaning the marketing needs to be aimed at the kids that are going to produce the most dollar amounts for you over time. In business, this is often called LTV or lifetime value. And if you get, let's say, a 17-year-old dancer walks in your front door, well, and you sign them up today, how much are they going to be worth to you? Well, maybe a year's worth of revenue. That's it. But you get a 3-year-old in there, and if you keep them, now you're not going to keep 100%, right? You're going to have that attrition. They hit middle school, you're going to lose some. They hit high school, you're going to lose some more. But if you focus on the bottom, you focus on building up that feeder program, you focus on building up the bench, right? Even if it's not the most exciting thing for you personally, it is the best thing for the business, because then even after all the attrition does its thing, you're still going to have kids who are ready to elevate into those higher levels of dance. And so it is a mindset thing, because again, this is not what a lot of studio owners sign up for. They're not like, I want to do mommy and me classes every single day, 6 days a week. That's not where they're coming from, but it is what the business needs. And so if you prioritize the need of the business, you will get what you want too.
Ooh,
That's
you guys. I believe in everything you just said. Hallelujah and amen. I want to say hello to Tabitha. Hi, Tabitha from North Carolina. We're neighbors, my friend. And here is Barbara Yates, who says amen as well, you guys. So you got 2 amens for that response.
I did not know this was going to be a religious experience.
Oh, who knew? I didn't even know that myself. Okay, guys. Right now, busy season, competitions, lots of stuff going on. I also have my summer programs going on for the studio owner who needs to fill these programs. What do you think are some suggestions for the final weeks before we hit summer?
Well, you should be hitting up your leads if you haven't been already accumulating them. I think fundamentally, a business, I'm going to say business, needs to always have lead generation on at all times. You always need something, some kind of an advertisement, a trial, something that gets leads. You got to fill up your list, right? So like the studio owner who is, right now, April 27th, and they're looking at their list and like, I only have 15 parents that aren't enrolled to reach out to versus the one that has 1,000. There's already someone has a leg up for that because it's a business that has been generating leads all throughout the year. And so like in the weeks leading up, the biggest thing you can do is SMS campaigns, like reactivate your list. If you've been building a list right now, and I'm talking, and it doesn't matter how old the list is. I have our clients, they're like, well, I've been collecting this list for 10 years. I'm afraid to reach out to these people that haven't heard from us. Reach out to them because parents may have kids. They know people. I remember the first time we did a text message campaign. It was around this time of year, one of our clients, and she had been in business for 15 years. She had never done a text message campaign before. And let me tell you, the nerves were real because she was like, I am so afraid for these parents to get like a solicitation text message from me. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to schedule it out. You've got like over 3,000 parents in the last 15 years. We're going to blast them out. Yes, you're going to get people that are like, stop, unsubscribe. Don't reach out to me. That's going to happen. Just, you got to have the tough skin for it. But what did happen, what will surprise us was a parent who she thought was never going to be a customer because her kids graduated out and aged out. Guess what? They had another baby. And it was of 2 to 3 years old. And she goes, oh my gosh, I forgot about this studio. I'm coming back. And so there's just the value of your list is so important. So hit up your list. And if you don't have a list, that's your cue. I should be generating leads somehow. And so that's what I would be doing in the final weeks leading up to the start of a new program. And that applies to summer, fall, new year. Like, this is a monthly discipline that you want to do. Some of our clients do this bi-weekly. So text message campaigns, simple as that.
Love it. And I got to say that I was nervous the first time I did a text message campaign, but the results, holy cow, I have no intimidation about it anymore.
Yeah, you get that dopamine hit.
I actually think it clears through way better than an email clears through, way better than other forms of an email blast. Boom. But that isn't the next question. Miss June has that one. Go for it, my friend.
Can you share a few practical ideas that studios could use right away to get more eyes on their summer programs?
Number one, text campaign. Number two is an advertisement of some kind of like market. And so the way out for summer, I mean, it really depends on what kind of offer we're talking about. We have found our data shows that the camps, I won't talk about camps because that is the most like hit or miss depending on the region, the area. A studio that is in urban city versus one it's in a little more rural where there's sleepaway camps. So I'm not going to talk about camps, but if you continue with weekly classes, don't call them just summer classes or summer dance. Like, put a number to it. If it's a 6 week of summer or 8 weeks of summer, let parents know what that number is. Say, hey, our 6 week, call it a 6 week summer session, call it an 8 week summer session. Well, we found that when you put a time wrapper, like it starts and ends, parents are like, okay, cool. This isn't like a forever thing. Let's do this for the summer. So that would be one idea. And then number two, if you are running weekly classes, start putting trials into them right now, because those trials that come in during a summer class are then going to be prime people that you can then retain in for the fall season as well.
I do like the idea of labeling them as a 6-week or a 5-week, whatever. I think that's important because when you say summer, families are already planning their vacations, and I think they automatically think, oh, it's not going to work for me. Summer, we're vacationing. But if we can narrow that down, I think that's amazing. Definitely.
Okay, so what do you think about how we should handle bringing in, well, we bring in new families to our summer program. How should we handle those clients, either as they're coming in or follow-up?
Are we talking about these are already customers or before they become a customer?
They're coming in. They're coming into our summer program, whether that be a pop-up camp, a 3-day camp. I'm not sure studio owners know what to do with that client. That client may pass through. I look at it as a lead, way to get somebody to stick with us in September. And I'd like to hear your thoughts. I might have question might have been confusing in the beginning, but that's the end question.
Okay, so people that come in for like a summer, some kind of a summer program, how do we engage them so they stick with us in the fall? Is that how I'm understanding the question?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's go for it.
The simplest thing, in my opinion, is offering a trial event before, and after summer and before fall. You just set up a day. It can be a few hours on a Saturday morning where you re-invite all these families back in for a demo class. But then during that demo class, it's really more for you to have more FaceTime with the parents. Mm-hmm. Like, I want studio owners to understand the value of FaceTime with parents. It's not like, oh, I don't want to give them another free class. They already paid me. They should just sign up already. No. You got to get FaceTime. Bring them in. The demo class is, think of it as, you keep the kids occupied and you get mom and dad uninterrupted for a half hour. You talk to them, you sign them up, you find out, hey, what are your goals for the year? Like, what did you love about summer? Like, why did you even come in? Like, and you sign them up. You get that FaceTime, right? Like, if you're trying to, phone calls and texts are going to work, but they're juggling work, kids, diapers at home. But if you bring them in, offer a free trial, just keep their kids engage in a class, then you get undivided attention with mom and dad. And that alone will help you turn more enrollments from these leads and one-time drop-in dancers that came in over the summer.
So I'm actually going to jump in too, because Kristian's answering this question from a marketing and a positioning standpoint. I'm going to answer it from a sales perspective. And so fundamentally, everybody's a lead. Even your paying customers are leads. And what I mean by that is, if I've sold you into one class, you're a lead and a prime candidate now for 2 classes, or for my performance team, or for my competition team. So there's always something more that I can sell you. And so as an operator, it's, first of all, don't be afraid of that word sales, because really sales is just partnering what I can provide with what you want. And that's, you have, as a business owner, you have I would say, an ethical obligation to sell your people what they want in their lives. So let's not be afraid of that word, the S word, the other word, right? But the real on this is just be very clear about your goals. So if you are bringing kids in for a 1-week camp, or you're bringing them in for a trial through the summer, set realistic sales targets to say, okay, I'm going to turn 20%, 30%, 40% of my summer kids into someone who shows up for a demo day. And I'm going to sign 20, 30, 40% of those kids up into my regular program. And you can do that year after year after year. And there's always something more to offer those families. And again, this is not necessarily about sales, but that's a whole different topic that studio owners, I believe, have shied away from for far too long, and they need to be leaning into it if you're serious about building a profitable, lucrative business.
Can I jump in there too? I think as studio owners, sometimes we're afraid to speak face to face. But one of the things that I've learned is if one of my teachers sees something in a child, like she's in a jazz class, but you know what? She would really benefit from a ballet, to actually talk to the parents and say that. Our parents just want to hear that we've seen their child. And 9 times out of 10, they sign up for that extra class because we've said to them, she would really benefit from taking X, Y, and Z. And we shouldn't shy away from that face-to-face communication.
Not at all.
So, June, I jumped to section 3.
Thank you.
Send me those notes so I can start prepping better answers for you.
No, I want to be spontaneous, but I moved.
Okay.
I moved on, June.
So let's shift into the fall. When students think about fall marketing, many immediately think about ads, schedules, early bird specials, and registration dates. Before we get into tactics, what is your overall philosophy when it comes to fall marketing for dance studios?
I think it's, for me, I guess contextualize it. Are we talking about getting brand new, talking about how do we market to brand new parents who don't even know the studio exists yet, or just holistically returning
Marketing
customers and
new families, pulling in new clientele?
Okay, perfect. It's you gotta have some kind of a demo experience. That is my philosophy. That rings true 365 days a year. And we get pushback from it. Like, there's staffing challenges. There's also just like, I don't want to offer trials. They should know the value. Like our ideal client understands the value. But I think about all the luxury buying experiences that are out there today. I know BMW, Land Rovers, Maserati, these are all luxury vehicles. I know they're worth every penny. I'm still going to test drive it before I buy it. Same with luxury. You go to luxury kitchens, people who spend $50,000, $60,000 on their kitchen. This is back I'm pulling from my corporate experience. They still come in for a demo with the chef. They want to know, they want to interact and touch and feel like, so a trial experience does not diminish the value of a studio because luxury brands are doing it. So you gotta, like, if you increase it. So really, I would say a goal for marketing and new parents, if we're talking about KPIs, number one, you got to be generating leads. The next most important metric is getting those leads to show up for their first visit. So we are going to start measuring that at DMM, is how many of our clients are getting those first visits, whether it's a trial, whether it's a studio tour, whether it's like a little mini session. These all count as, I was a stranger, I'm now a customer. And then you're going to have a far better chance turning customers into long-term clients. So you really need to position and prepare your studio and your teachers and everyone to say, hey, we're gonna have this process. When a new student comes in, here's what we're gonna do. We need everybody on board with it. And you need to do your best to be able to offer that all year round, especially during these busy times right now. Because this is the time right now where growth tends to stop from February to May because of competitions, recitals. And that, I think, is an operational feature that is, it's an operational gap in the year.
Did you say mistake? Or
it's a huge mistake. I was just talking to a studio owner.
I could tell how politically correct he was trying to be, but I agree.
No,
I think
it's a mistake.
I want to say this. I think maybe 10 years ago, I would understand. I see our dance school business totally changed since the pandemic, and that we can bring in clients all year long. We can run courses, classes, whatever it takes, even if it's 2 weeks before the recital. Thoughts?
I mean, so I was talking with a dance studio owner about a month ago, and her numbers are down. She's struggling. And I asked her, I said, well, can you take any kids now? Like, how many kids could you take to be full? She's like, oh, I could take like 150 kids right now, and my operations wouldn't break. I'm like, okay, well, what's stopping you? She said, well, I stopped taking enrollment February 1st. I'm like, well, okay, well, then what happens? Like, you have recital in May, and then what? She said, well, I take the month of June off, and then we start back again in the middle of August. I'm like, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 7 months out of the year that you're not taking kids. That's 7 months of the year that you're saying no to money that is wanting to put it in, like parents want to put money in your hands, and you're saying no. Now, I get why we've done it. I understand the complications of recital. One of the things that we spend a lot of time doing with our clients at DMM is helping them figure out how they can say yes to dollars year round without disrupting their recital, without blowing up their competition team. And there are ways to do it. You just have to want to do it. And I think is the barrier. And a lot of people just don't, because it is hard.
But I want to jump in there because
Yeah.
I think that sometimes the studio owners feel like they are the ones that have to do it, and they're reaching capacity in terms of all the things they have to do. So take a breath and think about who else on your team could be handling that and put in place for that, so you do have that connection the entire year. I think that's one of my hardest struggles, to make sure that we don't drop it off when we get to this time of year, that we still communicate with our leads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the leads that you're talking to today, so we tell our clients, you need to be thinking 90 days in advance, because like minimum 90 days in advance, because the leads that you're talking to today is the person who's going to buy from you in 3 months. And so I know it's busy right now. I know you have a dozen spinning plates. I know costumes are coming in. I know that one child, we ordered the wrong size and we have to get that swapped out. I know that your recital venue just dropped you because a bigger fish came in and they can pay more. I know all these things are going on. I know competition's happening. I know you're still subbing teachers out as they're getting sick with the spring bugs that are going around. And I feel all of that. I'm not saying that this is easy. I am saying that if you're not talking to those leads today, you're not going to have buyers in 90 days.
Absolutely. So a lot of studio owners love their current families, and that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes their website and social media speak mostly to people who already understand the studio. How can studios speak better or better speak to the brand new parent who does not know ballet from lyrical or preschool from a combination class?
Yeah, those things don't matter to a new parent at all. So all they don't care. We a couple years ago, I did a research project where I was like, I had the same question, June, because I was like, how do I figure this out? And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to interview dance parents. And I interviewed about 15 parents over the course of 2 weeks. And all they cared about was, hey, like we heard things like, hey, I'm new to the community. I need somewhere for my kid to make friends. Or, you know, my kid is 2 or 3 and we're about to get into preschool and they've never interacted with a teacher before. And I wanted them to behave in the class. So I wanted to put them in an environment where they got to learn how to follow instructions. I heard things around, you know, parents caring about developing confidence in their kids, finding their own passions for things. And so those are the things that matter to parents. And you can deliver confidence, socialization, whether it's lyrical, ballet, hip hop, K-pop, any dance genre is going to be the vehicle for a kid making friends, developing confidence, finding their own artistic expression. So talk about those things, the outcome, rather than the technique or the genre. That's what I would really share to them. Because parents they're not going to really care about that. And they don't know what it means. And they're going to come in with all these preconceived notions and you're going to have to unravel it. So just don't talk about it. That might be for a different audience somewhere else. But for new families, I'm sorry to say that they just that's not top of mind for them.
It just confuses it. It's the curse of knowledge, right? You know, on a scale from 1 to 10, you're a level 10. You're proficient, you're a professional, you do this every day, you know all these things. And when you're talking to newbies, you have to dumb it down. And so most of us dumb it down and we're like, I've dumbed it down as far as I can go, but really we've moved it from like a 10 to a 7, and you need to move it to a 2, which is why we're such big fans of try a class and leaving it there. I would recommend going through your website, making sure that it's not overly, I'm going to say, this is going to be offensive the way I say it, but hear my heart, not overly pretentious with the credentials. And I studied under this person at this school and I did this. If that's the first thing on your website, you're turning people off, because not only do they not know, they don't care, and it feels intimidating. Dumb it down, way down, way down. Try a class. Put a picture of a kid with a smiling face in your ad on your website. Like, that's it. And then when they're standing in front of you, when mom walks through the front door, now we can start educating them about why we're the best choice for them. But you've got to make it easy.
And I also think if we put pictures of kids that are too perfect, you know, the arabesque, the beautiful ballet bun, if you've got a 7-year-old that stumbles over their own feet and the parent is going to go, well, this doesn't even fit with me. My kid can't do this. This is not for me. More realistic about what we're showing on our website would help.
Exactly. Yeah.
June, jumping to section 5, my friend.
We're following right along. We're right there with you.
Okay. So let's give studio owners some ideas that they can write down and use right now. What are 3 things every studio owner should do before fall registration opens?
Step 1, get your registration open now if you haven't already. You gotta start being ready. No joke, it's time. Parents are making their plans now. My wife and I just sat down last night to start looking at what we're doing in August, right? Like, this is real talk. It's around the corner. Kristian already mentioned the SM campaign. That's going to be huge. So if you're not building a list, start building a list. And again, this is one of those things that it's a re-education. A lot of studio owners think, oh, I'm running my ads, but it's not turning into customers right now. So it's bad. So I'm stopping. But the truth is, building a list is valuable because you can go back to those people again and again and again until the timing aligns and it's good for them. So start building a list, I would say, and do your SMS campaigns now to start building into the fall, building into the summer, building into the fall. But I am a little farther away from the marketing these days, so I'd love to hear what Kristian's 3 would be.
I mean, that's all fine. Definitely have a trial event, at least one. Try it in for monthly. But these ideas are all out there. And I think my ideas aren't going to be marketing ideas because they're out there. The reason that they're not working for a studio owner might be how they're prioritizing their own time. So step 3 is take a look at what you're doing. What's everything that every hat you're wearing, and find someone in your organization that you can elevate to take on one of those so you can free up and have more energy to put into the growth, to put into the trial events, into the enrollment. Because all these ideas, there is no secret sauce, magic $1 million offer. I mean, there are, but it's really like, I think truly what's getting in the way is execution. The strategies and the tactics exist. You can find them at conferences. You can find them in your coaching organizations. Yes, but you got to really apply yourself and have the time and the energy and make it a priority. That's, I think, what I would say differently going into fall is like find something to make it a priority.
Okay, so somebody listening to this today or when it gets put up on Apple and Spotify, when they listen, they feel maybe overwhelmed, they freeze, maybe they don't know what to start with. What would you tell the studio owner out there who's feeling that way to focus on very first?
When it comes to fall enrollment?
Yes.
Okay. I would say take out your calendar right now and look at the month of June, July, and find a 3-hour window, whether it's a Saturday morning or an evening, and block that time. You're going to reserve that time for a demo class. And you're going to want to keep that class focused to ages like 3 to 8. Like, aim young. The younger you aim for, the more successful you'll be, because there's way more of those kids out there. And then you just like get a teacher, someone to help you. and then just come up with a 30-minute sample class that you can do and block that time out, commit to it, give yourself at least 6 weeks to, get the word out. If you're going to advertise it or just post on social media about it, and start there with a 3-hour window between now and fall beginning, and use that as your way to invite new families to come in and have that trial experience.
Okay, so I want to know how studios can use their current families to help attract new families in a way that feels positive and natural.
I got a quick one. So for this 3-hour trial event you're going to do, invite some of your families, like plant your best families there in a classroom and say, hey, just make our new families feel welcome. And that way you have existing I think that's a sweet hack that I would do is your trial event, plant some of your existing customers in there, clients, and have them, the friendly ones, the ones that love to chat up to other parents, make them feel warm and welcome and part of the community for their first impression.
That is a great idea.
Okay, so before we close, I want to give each of you a chance to speak directly to studio owners who may be watching. What are some final words or directions that you'd give them when it comes to marketing and increasing enrollment as they head into the next season or even the summer months? Bryce?
I was hoping you were going to call on me second.
Well, I felt like I didn't call on you, and Kristian kind of took over there, so I wanted equal time for you guys, so you'd all like each other when we got done.
The fact that Kristian takes over is why I like him, precisely. No, I mean, so real talk, I would just say, kind of tell a story. When I was in college, I had to take an elective and I picked a salsa class and it was a blast. I mean, as a non-dancer, being in a structured environment where I got to meet people, got to move, got to learn something new, absolute blast. Like one of my favorite classes that I took in college outside of my major. But I would just say it doesn't qualify me to teach salsa today, right? And I think there's a lot of studio owners out there who have that experience. They go to conferences, they pick up little bits here and there. They're told you need to be advertising, you need to be marketing, and they'll do it somewhat begrudgingly because it doesn't light them up. It's not an area of proficiency or competence. And I know, because I hear it all the time, that a lot of times people, like studio owners, get really down on themselves because this is the thing that gets dropped. And I just want to encourage you that, yes, marketing and advertising are critically important to growing a business, but it doesn't have to be you. You can outsource this to someone on your team. If you have somebody, I've met many studio owners who have parents who work in advertising, who are willing to barter and do advertising, run ads for the studio owner in exchange for free classes for their kids, or you can outsource it to an agency like ours. But you don't have to do it yourself, but it has to get done. And so I guess that would be my answer. If you're feeling overwhelmed, do an honest audit of yourself, of what lights you up, of what fuels you, of what totally drains you, and hand off those things. And if you're someone who loves nerding out on data, like, I'm going to encourage you, go get a book from the library, like, learn how to do this. Like, it's very fulfilling and rewarding when it works. But if that feels exhausting to you, then start looking for ways that you can outsource that. And you can always reach out to our team at Dance Motion Marketing. We're happy to, in a no pressure environment, just help you think through what's the best fit for you. And we'll help you diagnose the gaps that you have and figure out, should you outsource this? Can you do it alone? And we're not here to push. So that would be my suggestion to anybody who's listening to this today going, oh my God, I have to do that. Oh my God, I'm so behind. Is just do an honest assessment of where you are.
Love it. Kristian, do you have something to add, my friend, or did Bryce cover that base?
He covered. I mean, I'll I have one more story that comes to mind, but my thought was going to be around sharing the hats that you wear too, and giving opportunities to other people to rise to the occasion and become a leader within your dance studio team. Because when you build leaders, they're going to build the business, and you're going to have more freedom to pursue other things that you want. And so you'll have the freedom to, do I want to be the artistic director and someone else takes the growth? Or, you know what, I'd rather elevate someone else to be the artistic director because I want to focus on growth. And you'll have that, you can only create that freedom of choice of being, and by building up a leader in your organization. One of my most surprising clients totally shocked me with this, where she was like, I had the best summer growth. I'm like, well, what happened? And she goes, I let someone else handle my recital in the artistic direction. And she was like, I'll tell you, there was a lot of things that I didn't like about it, but I got to sleep at night and I got to grow my business. And I was like, wow, for someone to let go of the artistic direction of their own business, that was like a huge thing. But to see what was on the other side of that, I was like, I would make that choice again and again.
It's called delegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard though.
We are
so hard.
Well, Bryce and Kristian, thank you both for joining us today. This was practical, honest, and exactly what studio owners need as they prepare for summer and fall.
Thank you for having us.
Guys. Those of you watching live or listening later, we're glad you're here with us. We hope this gave you some ideas you can actually use. I know it did.
And a big thank you to our sponsor, Jackrabbit Dance, for supporting Living the Dream and for helping studio owners create stronger systems in their business. Remember, you can find Living the Dream on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube.
And to all the studio owners out there, keep going. The work you do matters for sure. The families you serve need what you have to offer. And yes, we are in the busiest season, but you are living your dream. When you were 10, you dreamed of having this dance studio or teaching in that class. And you dreamed of putting on a recital, and you dreamed about bringing your kids to a dance competition. You even dreamed about your first ad that you were going to create for your studio. So keep going. Make sure that you remind yourself each morning that you are actually living the dream, because not everybody in this world gets to do that. Thank you, Kristian. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you all. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
See ya.
That's it for this week's Living the Dream. Thank you for being here, and thank you for giving dance kids a place to belong. Take the lesson, take the inspiration, and take care of yourself too. Keep living the dream. See you next time.